a plastic bag ever again.
They're going to use paper, is that?
That's what they were saying, yeah. But our hope, we probably have double the amount that we already use left to still use. So our hope is that this can become like a yearly thing, or like we do one day in the fall, one day in the spring. But now that we know what we're doing, this was our first time doing this, that they all know how to do it and they can teach the younger kids. And then hopefully eventually it can become a community-wide student event where even like all big country schools can participate with us. So
That's awesome. What made y'all want to, like, how'd y'all come up with this idea?
I'm Cameron. I'm community service chair, and we have to have projects every 6 weeks. And last year I did baskets for new moms at Dice Air Force Base. And this year I wanted to do something different, so I partnered with Energy and Environment, which is another committee, and I came up with this idea because I have plenty of these in my house that I use for trash bags. So I was like, well, we could use something like this, and they also had the idea and they brought it to me, and so I was like, that would be awesome. So that's where the
This is a
idea.
project you can turn in.
Yes. Yes, we it was for first 6 weeks, and then we were very unprepared, and it became the next couple 6 weeks. So we will have many more days to work with these bags.
So how long does it take to make one mat?
Since we were there from like around 8 or 9 to 4, so it took us that full time to make a single bag.
hopefully now that we know how to do it.
Yes, we were a little unprepared, but we learned throughout the day, and now we have we were also kind of short-staffed, you could say. So more people definitely would be better, but yeah.
Just piggybacking off of that, we're part of the Texas Association of Student Councils, which is a statewide student council board. And so every single year we have the opportunity to win sweepstakes and just recognition for our school. And so with the projects every 6 weeks, that's kind of things that we document and turn in to hopefully get awards for our school. So this is probably going to be our biggest one. We're going to use it for the process of collecting the bags, the mat making themselves, and then all the scraps are going to be recycled. So kind of a 3-for-1 there. And these mats will be donated to Global Samaritan eventually.
That's cool.
When we finish.
Yeah, so they were at the school on Saturday, is the day that they did this. I don't know if they mentioned the day. So they were there starting very, very early in the morning until about 4:30. So they started the first one probably when we got there, so around 9 o'clock. And that one was not finished until 3, but they started the other ones throughout the process, and they were all finished at about the same time. So they definitely got quicker.
That's awesome. It's a great idea.
That's very cool.
Thank you.
And thank you, Miss Berry also had the idea of making it a community-wide event.
Yes.
And she kind of helped me collaborate with all the other schools, and will help in the future as well. Hopefully we can get some of the other schools to come help us too.
That's awesome. Thank y'all.
Thank you.
Thank y'all.
Thank you.
That's way cool. They're gonna need a lot bigger one than me. Yeah.
Double bag.
Trash bags?
All right, do we have anybody else? Anybody else? Okay, moving on. Approval of the minutes. Did everybody go over them? Anybody in objections? Everybody good? Okay, we'll approve them as is. And now we'll move on to our financial report.
Okay. So I first want to start off discussing kind of our new process that I know Mr. Light has shared with you guys, but going forward, starting this month with this meeting, we're going to be reporting our financials 2 months prior to our meeting date. So we're here in October, y'all are going to see August financials again. We will keep our checks current and our bond activity will be current from the prior month. But it all comes from with the new with the last legislation, and us having to have everything posted with 3 business days. And we have some months that are just really tight turnarounds, and we're giving you information that's current at that time, but truly when we close out a month, it could be a couple of weeks in and we're still making journal entries or things are still happening that truly should go in the prior month. So I feel like, as Mr. Enlight and I discussed stuff, I felt like this is going to be a great, I think I like this change due to it giving y'all more of a true picture of the financials when I'm reporting them. So, I mean, just for an example, I'll be reporting August, and it's going to look different than what I reported to you guys last month, just because we've had our audit. Thankfully, that is over for the most part. But in that in itself, I mean, all kinds of changes happen. There's entries made, and so that's always a big month. But that's just kind of a common thing when you're closing out a month, anyways. So this is going to give us time to capture everything and get it all in one report and be current by the time we're in front of you guys. So.
And I would also say, I think the other way we made it work, but it was a little over ambitious because a lot of school districts already
Correct.
have been operating on this type of system where it's not the immediate month, it's the
2 months prior.
to that, so.
Yes, yeah. So going forward, like I said, you'll see August today, and then next month I'll report on September. So, but starting out with our current checks, just a few things I wanted to point out here. Of course, being September, these were checks in September. We had several annual subscriptions that come up that we pay for the full year. So a lot of the larger amounts that aren't bond related are our annual subscriptions, such as our Angel Protection, Aptigee, that's for our website. We have our semi-annual payment to communities and schools. Of course, they help us out. We had that one come through in September. We do our workers' comp premium to Deep East Texas. Frontline Technologies, we have several applications with them these days. Our location analytics, we've moved our SPED from MSB to, they're going to be helping us with that now. So we have SPED, we have a nursing application, Medicaid billing, and then our financial analytics. So all of that is included in that payment to Frontline, along with the implementation. Since our SPED side is new, we have an implementation fee. And then, of course, Hendrick Medical, we pay every month. We have OT and PT payments, and of course, our athletic trainer that we contract out through them. And then Huddle was an annual payment. Our mascot media, Mentors Care comes through. We pay that 10 times out of the year. So this is actually 2 months worth because they let us hold it until September to start our payments. So that's 2 months there. On page 10, payroll is totaled altogether a little over $3.5 million. Obviously, that is up a little over $450,000 from the last month of payroll, but this does include all of our new raises, the teacher additional raises for them and everybody else. So we expected to see that, jump up there. So that's most likely there. We didn't have anything too unusual in that one, so this should be more standard around this each month. Let's see, we had our Red Rover Technologies, that's another annual one. We did purchase, we had a lot of football equipment that was purchased with Riddle, and our Skyward annual payment came out as well. Kind of all I really, we did make our insurance, of course, to TPS for our property and casualty. That happened in September as well. I think that's all I really wanted to point out. Does anybody have any questions on any? Okay. Moving on to our cash position. Again, cash will always be cash, so there's not a lot of change. So this is exactly what you saw in August. As of August 31st, we had a little over $20 million sitting in our cash available balance. And then onto our bond statement is next. As of August, I'm sorry, that does say July on there, but as of August, we were starting out the month with $150 million, almost $151 million. And throughout September, with all the activity and all the payments that went out, we spent a little over $3.7 million in September, leaving us with $147 million after September expenses. Any questions on that one? revenue expense is where you're gonna see the difference. Now with everything pretty much recorded by the time I was running this, where it should be, we're still wrapping up our audit, but thankfully all of that went really smooth, and now it's just kind of little bits of back and forth on the last final details with that, and then they'll get it to me to review in November. But we're finishing the revenue at $62,442,000, which of course we like because that came in higher than what we anticipated. And then our debt service with 14 million, right under 15 million overall in our revenue. Then expenses, we still are making a net income between our revenue and our expenses of 8.8 million that we get to add to fund balance. So that's really great because that has been, our discussion a lot. And so we've had some things go our way and benefit us this year that we're going to be able to do that. And we really have needed to do that. So hopefully we can continue to go in that direction and keep moving like that. But we ended with $53,615,000 in our expenses. And then, of course, our debt service payments is what we had there. Any questions on that? Okay.
Thank you.
Uh-huh. Yes.
Make a motion to pay the bills.
All in favor? All right. Yes.
I meant to
Yes.
mention that to you, so they don't have to stay for.
Yes, do you want to do the bond?
So, yes,
Good,
it's
okay.
a bid on,
Oh, yeah. Mhm.
yeah. So we're gonna change the order just slightly so the folks that are traveling can make their, travel. Just wanna go to, that's item F, consider approval of East Intermediate Addition Building Project. That's page 99 of the board's packet.
Yep.
And so, as we've talked to you about, we've got a couple of items here that are pertinent, the recommendation to award letter, and then that includes all of the contractors that are listed in the total sheet for approval. So, guys, y'all want to come up real quick and make any statements?
Sure. On behalf of Gallagher, we appreciate the opportunity to bring you a recommendation to award tonight for the intermediate school addition and renovation project that CADCO prepared the plans and specifications for. We had successful proposals that were brought and put together. The team reviewed them, and Nathan's going to give you a quick rundown of the recommendation they went over with you in your workshop and present the recommendation to award.
From page 99, excuse me, you'll see all the documents associated with what we're proposing for you to approve this evening. Thank you again for having us. It should total out to $19,890,802 is the total of the construction budget. And that's what we're asking you to approve this evening. Is there any questions as far as the documents that was attached to your agenda? No?
Very good.
Thank y'all for what you've done.
Yeah, absolutely.
Thank you.
I'll make a motion that we approve the bids presented for the East Intermediate Addition Building Project for a total of $19,890,802 presented by Gallagher.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate y'all coming out.
Do you need anything else on
I
that?
think we're good.
Thank you. Thanks.
And that was under what we initially budgeted for, right?
It was about, what did we say, $2 million
$2.1
savings?
Good.
Okay, moving on to conducting a public hearing.
Okay, Mr. Hagler has something for us prepared.
First thing I would like to share with you is that we've met all the requirements at the district level and at the campus level, as far as presenting our plans to our councils. We met with the District Advisory Council 2 weeks ago. They gave the stamp of approval on this district plan, as did all the principals with their campus committees in the last couple of weeks. So I just want to share that with you. Last week, you received a 60-page digital document of the campus plan. I think I always put a smile on your face every year when I tell you I've given you an abbreviated summary, so you can find that right here of only 18 pages. My goal tonight is to go over the highlights of this plan and let you know the changes that we made for the 25-26 school year. In the digital plan that you got, the first 31 pages is the comprehensive needs assessment. We start working on that back in May. It's a liquid document that we make changes, a fluid document that we make changes throughout the year. Didn't make a whole lot of changes that we had to take out, but we added some things to it. We add things throughout the year, not just at this time of the year. The goals that I'm going to present to you are correlated with that needs assessment, the first 31 pages. The main changes made this year with the demographics, updating all the demographics, the new Ignite Academy, the new Rise Behavior class, teacher incentive allotment, and our A through F accountability ratings, which is what I want to talk to you about first, because we have not had a chance to brag about this sheet right here. So if you'll find the sheet, I put it there. There's 2 handouts I gave you. I can't tell you how extremely proud we are of the gains that we made in the 25 accountability ratings. It's color-coded there for you, the 24 and 25. Just please understand the A through F accountability ratings. We're held accountable for student achievement, which is STAR scores, and at the high school level, that also includes CCMR and graduation. And then that's 70% of the score that you get, and the other 30% is called closing the gaps, and I'll tell you more about that in a second. So if you see in 2024, we had a score of 86, and we raised that up to 89 for this 2025 rating. That's 3 points. We were 1 point away from getting to that A, which is our goal. If you see over there in the gold, our 6 rated campuses all received overall ratings of a B in 2024. In 2025, we had 3 A's and 3 B's, so we made a lot of improvement there. In the student achievement domain, I already told you the STAR. All rated campuses received a rating of a B in 2024. In 2025, we had the 3 A's and the 3 B's. All campuses achieved a rating of A in the closing the gaps domain, the one that counts 30%. This measure looks at how well schools are helping all students and student groups make progress towards achievement targets by the state. In 2024, the high school was the only one that had that A rating, and now you see how much improvement we've made there. So I think we received these scores because of a lot of hard work by our students. Our teachers have high expectations for their kids. They provide good quality instruction. I want to brag on these people with the great leadership that they provided, and we do get a lot of buy-in and engaged parents from our community as well. So I want to give these people a hand for that. That's outstanding. So if you'll turn to the summary sheet, the first 2 goals in here are paramount: provide quality education and provide safety for our students and staff. I'm not going to obviously cover everything in here, but I'm going to hit the highlights. So on the second page, 2 of 18, goal number 1, Wylie ISD will maintain rigorous academic achievement standards to prepare 21st century learners for graduation and post-secondary success. Performance objective 1, the percentage of all students performing at the meets and master's grade level in reading on STAR assessments will increase by 1%. I'll get to that 75% here in a minute. 1% may not sound like a very lofty goal, but trust me, it is, because we already have good high scores, so we think that's an attainable goal, and it is a fair goal to try to obtain. The reason I have 75% there is because that meets the House bill goal in both math and reading. We have to set goals annually, and we surpassed the 3rd grade reading. Our goal was 63%, and we got 74%. So as you can tell, we surpassed it by quite a bit. So we're just going to try to go with the goal of 1%. We invest a lot of funds in the resources to help our teachers have resources to teach with and give our kids a chance for success. Strategy number 1, you can see the list of those resources. Some of these we've been using for years, Lexia Core 5, Read 180, System 44. We keep talking about this Loman education. We purchased again this year. I hope to tell you next year that we even do bigger and better things with that product, and I think we will. Another thing that I know some teachers or principals for sure are very excited about is we purchased IXL reading this year for our grades 1 through 5, and I think we're going to see a big difference with that. I'm going to jump over to math with a quick statement. We purchased it, or excuse me, we got it last year for math through a grant, and we received that again this year. So we have IXL reading and math grades 1 through 5. Second strategy, use of Teach Resource System. That's the state endorsed curriculum, and we've been using it, I believe, this is the 7th year that we've used it, grades K through 8, and it's the 7th year, 6th year, 1 year less that we've done it for the high school. And I think we've got a lot of buy-in from our teachers on that. Strategy number 3, increase rigor and student engagement in Tier 1 during enrichment periods. Once again, I've already talked about the IXL, and that's going to be a huge benefit to our students using that. Strategy number 4, K through 3rd grade teachers and principals will attend reading academies. We're in our 5th year of that. First year we had 30-something teachers in there, second year 30-something teachers. Now we're down to every teacher in our district has gone through the reading academy except for 7. 5 of them are enrolled right now, and we'll have 2 in the second semester, and we'll be 100%. And in the future, it'll just be the new teachers that we hire. Strategy number 5 is talking about the PD. We're still providing PD and training for developing standards aligned assessments to support our STAR. We think that's very important to look at PD for those strategies each and every year. Over on page 3, it's the same goal, but now the performance objectives, the percentage of students performing at the meets grade level in math on the STAR assessment will increase by 1%. That's 65% once again is House Bill 3 for the math for 3rd grade. Once again, we surpassed our goal, not as much as reading, but we did surpass it. So once again, the 1% we think is an attainable goal and a good goal because our scores are relatively good. We keep talking about math post-COVID. Our scores are not where they were pre-COVID, nor is anybody in the state, in the nation. But we're making gains on that. That's one of the reasons why we applied for that grant last year for the IXL math. And once again, we'll really see what the dividends of that with this next year's STAR scores. I'm not going to repeat strategies 2, 3, and 4 because those are the same for math as they were for reading. So if you'll go over to page 4, performance objective 3, the percentage of graduates that meet the criteria for college, career, military readiness has measured the domain 1 of the state accountability system will increase by 1% to a scale score of 78. We have found that we think that CCMR is one place where we can make some improvement. I can't say enough good things about Reagan and what she's done since she was the CT director, assistant principal, and to the role she's in now. I don't know where we would be without her leadership because we've made some great improvement there, but not where we need to be. And we can't continue making the excuses that, it was all in litigation. We weren't given a fair set of circumstances to improve. Those days are over because now we have a benchmark and we'll see where we are next year compared to this year. Strategy 1, the district will track student choice and monitor progress and successful completion in all areas of college, career, military readiness. We're using a new program called Pathways, and that will allow us to be able to track the students exactly where they are on their CCMR. Strategy 2, career and technology education will develop and implement a plan that links new pathways, develops local partnerships, and gives students the opportunity to acquire industry-based certifications. That and strategy 3 with the level 1 and level 2 certificates. I'm going to ask Reagan to let her tell y'all what changes we made this year as far as career readiness.
Yeah. What we're having to do, because the way I've described it to our staff, is the road to get CCMR is narrowing while the weight of CCMR is widening. And so to get that CCMR point now, starting with last year's seniors, which you won't see their CCMR until next year, starting with last year's seniors, they have to be completers, which means they take 3 classes for 4 more credits in a single program of study. That's very different than a career cluster. So not just ag, it has to be in plant science or ag mechanics. That's an example. They have to get 4 credits in that program of study, and the IBC has to be on that program of studies list. Whereas prior to, they didn't have to be completers, and it didn't have to be within that program of study. And so Ms. Fetchy and I have spent a lot of time looking to make sure that the IBCs are attainable for our students, that they're industry-based, meaning they're meaningful out in the industry, and then looking at programs of study that we may have that, unfortunately, the students may enjoy them, but they're not gonna get that CCMR point, and we just have to be more strategic in that. And so we cut to, not programs of study, but we're slowly just trying to be more intentional with our programs of study. So there's 2 courses that we cut this past year, just because it was a course that students enjoyed, but it didn't fall into, and it was one of those preventatives from students becoming completers where they get that IBC. The level certificates are more those state certificates, so our CNA, our CBA kiddos, those are the level 1, level 2, but the state honors both IBCs and the level certificates as well. So that's the CCMR IBC game. And I can talk more about what some of the other intentional things we're doing. It's just, he's right, we can't make excuses anymore, but the goalposts do change constantly. And we have to.
I didn't mean Wylie ISD, I mean anybody across the state.
Yeah.
Litigation's over, we've got a benchmark, and now we can see how much improvement we make
And
for next year.
even, just an example is the college readiness classes, they changed those to where it has to be state approved. Well, guess what? The state didn't approve one math college readiness class. And so next year, unless they come through and change what they've said, no school will be able to use college readiness classes as a CCMR indicator any longer, because the state didn't approve any of them. And so it's just an interesting world to be in. But
And you mentioned Ms. Fetchy, our new CTE director. I want to brag on her. She's very conscientious. I think she's going to be a good addition to our
she's
department.
incredibly thorough. And
Yep.
yeah,
So.
conscientious.
Let's go to, anything else on that? Performance Objective 4, effectively manage Title I school-wide programs at the West Early Childhood, West Elementary, and East Elementary campuses. Just want to let you know that I think we have a very good Title I program. We're targeted assistance, which means basically we get less funding than Title I schools, but we provide the same type of instruction. The main thing I want to cover is strategy number 1, that we still continue to provide reading specialists for these kiddos. And the other thing I want to make sure that we hear tonight is that on strategy 3, that we are providing intervention programs that are scientifically based in research. So I think we're doing a great job in that. So we're on page 6. Performance Objective 5, effectively manage ESL programs at all campuses, partner with Region 14 for guidelines within our ESL program, English as a second language. You're actually going to get to hear me give a report later on our ESL program. Just to give you a bit of information, we have 186 emergent bilingual students. We refer to them as EB students. That's up 70% from last year. We have 87 teachers that are certified teaching these kiddos in their classrooms. And I do want you to know that we've done a lot of training for our teachers. Not just the ones that are certified, but every core teacher in our district was trained by Region 14 last year. And we this year sent some teachers and counselors down to the Title III Symposium to get some more training on ESL. And so I think we've made strides in that program as well. But we keep getting more and more of those EB students, so we got to stay on top of that. The last one on goal number 1 is Objective 6 on page 7. We opened the Ignite Academy. The Academy is a program of choice that serves students at Wylie High School. The focus of the Ignite Academy is to provide dropout prevention, credit recovery, and self-paced learning opportunities for at-risk students. And so I'm going to let Reagan, I think this is her brainchild, so I'm going to let her share how that's going to go. We have 4 kids in there.
Yeah, we have 4 students in there. They go through an interview process, an application process. And really the interview process is not, they have to write a paper for us also, and so we go over that with them. But we want to make sure, and we tell the kiddos this, that there's a plan and there's already things in motion for after they graduate, because we have a lot of really great resources at Wylie High School, and so we don't want them to graduate and then they're just left with nothing. And so we're ensuring that CCMR is important, but we're ensuring that they have that CCMR point. We're ensuring that one of the students is military bound, and so they have a recruiter, they have NEPs set up already. We really don't want to let them out of our care until we feel like we've done everything we can for that next step. We have had a student get denied access to the program because the intent is not just, I don't really like high school, I can go and do this. The intent is there's circumstances that are preventing traditional school to be the right path and best path for them. And there's a reason that they need to get graduated, whether it's because they're behind on credits and they're reaching an age where there's no other option. I had one student who just has a really tragic path to where that student is, and that student said, I will not finish in May, and his pathway has proven that that would be the case, and it gets them to school and excited to graduate. Coach Elkins has done a good job in that program also. And that's about the numbers we expected for the year. We expect around 10. That's what we thought last year we would have, and I think these 4 will likely, they're really pushing to try and get done by December. And we'll have a little graduation ceremony for them, and they're excited about that too. And if they don't finish, they come back in January and they finish when they finish.
Reagan, how are you identifying these kids? Are we gonna, I know this is like year one, are we gonna push?
So they, either through counselors or Miss Bundy, who's our junior assistant principal, and then Miss Stewart. Miss Bundy usually, we sat down and we have a name of about 25 kiddos. Not that we're going and trying to sell this to, but just get them on our radar, make sure they're on Miss Stewart's radar and the counselor's radar. And then when it's been pretty organic, you know, whenever we're talking to them about attendance or about grades, whatever that may be, that we introduce the program to them. But they do have to be classified, because our ultimate goal is for this to be not a separate physical campus, but a separate campus where it's an alternative campus. That's how it's identified by the state, and so they have to be at risk. By the state standards, they have to meet that at-risk criteria. And so we've held to that just to set the precedent that that's what this campus, this program is for.
I just appreciate you providing this new opportunity for these at-risk kids within our own walls.
Yeah, there's a little bit of like a mama bear part in that, because we really, the state calls them lost students, and they really do just become lost students. And if we set them, you know, go and try and finish here, but they're not ours, and we have there's no resources, no help, and we're just hoping, crossing our fingers and hoping that they cross the finish line elsewhere, when everyone's invested 12 years in them, you know. And so we want to see them in purple, you know. We want to see them get that diploma. Ignite. Yeah. There's a whole acronym. I should probably memorize that one. But we have other, like, ignite them to cross that finish line. Ignite, you know. But there is a innovate, navigate. There's a G in there. I should probably learn that.
I'm sorry, I don't have it written down.
I'll look it up and have y'all have it in my principal's report for you.
Thank you, Reagan. Goal number 2, Wylie ISD will provide a positive and safe environment for our students and staff. Objective 1, consistently incorporate safety and security measures that safeguard the campus and learning environments as a high priority. I can't commend Mr. Besson enough. I say this every year. We all know how safe our school district is, and a lot of that's because of the hard work that he's done for us. I know he's pretty excited this year because we got some new funding from the state. I believe we've added another marshal. Is there anything you want to add on to that? I know the funding's nice.
We've got angel protection at both junior high campuses. You saw that in the bill, so that was a good step forward. Proud to have that.
Skip over to objective 4, 5, and 6. Page 11. Performance objective 4, implementation of the random student drug testing program at Wylie High School. This is year 2 of the program. We discussed that summer before last in great detail. We test monthly. I would say it's been a very successful program, a great plan that y'all presented to us. Once again, it gives our students a deterrent to say no to drugs, a deterrent and an opportunity to say no to peer pressure. So I think that's the reason why we did it, and I think we're finding it to be successful. So I just wanted to let you know that we're on year 2 and all is going well. Objective 5 on page 12. Without reading that, just to let you know, this is talking about cell phone policies. We were ahead of the game on that last year at the secondary level. We did at the high school and the 2 junior highs. Out of the last legislative session, that became law at all grades. So just to let you know, we made the appropriate changes and have policies at the lower grade levels, which doesn't seem to be much of a problem down there, but we did have to have the policy. Okay, let's go over to page 13, Objective 6, implementation of the RISE program, another acronym. The program is a behavioral support classroom that is built around structured, student-centered learning environment designed to meet the unique academic, social, and emotional needs of students with behavioral challenges. We started this program last year, and it was over at the East Elementary. We moved it over to Mr. Boone's campus at West Intermediate. You want to share anything about how it's going, Mr. Boone?
It's going, first of all, I think Mr. Vaughn and Mr. Lott put together a great team. We have behavior coach from Mr. Eminette's campus and aide from Stussing's campus, and then a teacher from another district. And, it's challenging, but they're doing a great job. We have 2 rooms, and one's for learning, and the other one is when we need some behavior intervention. And so that's a lot of, and when you walk in there, you know why they're in that class and not in the regular class.
And how many students are in there? 3. And when Mr. Boone just made that statement, that also protects the regular learning environment, so it helps everybody out on the campus.
We have the right people, though. It's all about those 3 people. Not everybody can do that.
Page 14, this might excite you more than anything about this report. There's no changes to goal number 3. Wylie ISD ensures active parent-family engagement strategies are in place to foster meaningful participation, feedback, collaboration with parents and families. If I went through all these strategies, it's, we do surveys, parent feedback. We have lots of committees and councils, like the ones I talked about that we all got our plans approved by. So we do have a lot of community parent support. Okay, the last goal number 4, page 17. Wylie ISD ensures that staff recruitment and retention is a high priority. Strategy number 1, actively work to retain Wylie ISD employees by providing feedback to employees through the evaluation process so that employees find meaning and value in their work. We set a goal, Mr. Vaughn and I talked about this last year before this report. We set a goal for a 90% retention of staff, and I believe we're right at 89%, so we missed it just by a year, but we're going to continue with that goal of 90%. 2 very important ways that we're going to try to recruit teachers and retain teachers is 1, the PUP Academy. We all know how well that's gone, and that's provided a great daycare for our teachers, and it is a great recruiting tool. And then the new one that you're very well aware of, and it's goal number 4, objective 2, apply for acceptance into the teacher incentive allotment in Texas. TIA was established by House Bill 3, aims to attract, retain, and reward highly effective teachers. And we applied, we were accepted, and we're right in the middle of that. I gave you, I won't read this to you, but this is the information about it because I know Christian Spencer reported to you earlier, and we've been giving you a little bit of feedback. I cannot say enough great things about Christian Spencer taking the lead on that. She's outstanding. Holly Cooper has also joined her. I think the principals would tell you that she's been heavily involved with all of them. I know just Friday, both her and Holly met with many of the campuses and the teachers to go over their data for the student growth, which is a big part of it. Student growth, 65% of the rating. I know she's met, I know I've been in a couple of these where she's trying to get all these principals on the same page on the appraisal system to make sure that they're all appraising calibration of the appraisal system so they're all appraising it the same way. And so I think this is going to be great for our teachers. I think TEA is definitely made this the future for us as far as pay raises for our staff. So we bought into it. We've got the right people leading it. So I see this being great for us in the future. I bet a couple of these principals might want to say something about it. Rob, I see you nodding.
Oh, well, I can do it.
I know.
I'll do it now. Hey, it's one of the best things we have ever done for teachers. I know there's been a lot of apprehension and is it going to be good, is it not going to be good, it's going to be great. And the ones that get it, we're going to reward teaching excellence, and the ones that don't get it right off the bat, they're going to want it greater. I already see it happening on my campus, and it's going to be great. So y'all be patient, and don't, there may be a couple of naysayers early on, but at the end of the game, this is going to be great for our teachers. And what it's really going to be great for is student growth, because the students are going to grow, because there's no way they can't if the teachers are teaching this.
This is going to help instruction tremendously.
It's gonna be great.
Just to go over one thing, it says phase one eligibility. This is a 3-year implementation. And the reason we chose these groups for year one is because they all have a growth measure already built in. So over the next 2 years, every teacher will get on this at the end of the 3rd year. Just want to make that clear. You can see the dollar amounts. We finally got the acknowledged. That's a $3,000 stipend all the way up to the master at $12,000 stipend. So this is great. I know that was a lot of information. Do you have any questions? We do have to get approval. Thank you.
Now we have to, public hearing. Any questions, feedback? Okay. All right, moving on to considering nomination.
Now we gotta approve it.
Oh, gosh, and approve, sorry. Who wants to make a motion?
Motion to approve the 2025-26 district improvement plan.
Second.
All in favor? Aye. Okay. Now, we can move on to.
There you go. All right, each year we nominate a member for the Board of Central Appraisal District in Taylor County. Cecil Davis is our current representative, and he is willing to do that another year, so we would recommend that we nominate Cecil. Cecil has a great love for Wylie ISD. He's a good representative for us.
It's 92 if you are looking for it, page 92.
Oh, I'm sorry, yeah.
It's okay.
92.
Cecil Davis to serve on the board of the Central Appraisal District of Taylor County.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
All right. Now moving on to library materials.
Yes, ma'am. We are needing to address Senate Bill 13. Mr. Hagler is prepared for this. It's the Terry Hagler show tonight. So go ahead, Mr. Hagler.
Districts must comply with Senate Bill 13 and adopt a board-approved policy for library materials acquisition. This is the policy that you approved during the August board meeting. There are a lot of requirements in Senate Bill 13. First one is you have to have a public posting of the library materials that you're wanting to purchase. Those have to be published for public view for 30 days. We have met that requirement. Tonight, we are wanting to ask you to approve 1,656 books that Mrs. Jennifer Greeno and her library staff across the district put together for this board meeting. We'll have more books for the next board meeting as well. Another requirement by Senate Bill 13 is there has to be a vote by the board. You must approve or reject the list of books at an open meeting. I know that's a very difficult task for you because you can't possibly review 1,656 books. That's almost an impossible task for the librarians as well. But we do use Permabound. That's a vendor that we use that gives us reviews on the books and gives us an idea. There are also other safeguards that we use to make sure we have appropriate materials in our libraries. I gave you a handout earlier. If you look on that second page, it's all about protection from inappropriate material. We want to protect our students. We follow the guidelines by the Texas State Library and Archives Commission. They define what we're trying to protect as harmful material. They define that as anything that's pervasively vulgar or educationally unsuitable, or any library material containing indecent or profane content. So Jennifer and her staff, they look at the reviews, see if they're age appropriate, what the language is, things such as that. But the main safeguard that we have for our library books is what our community will allow. Because just because there's a new law that came out of the last legislation doesn't mean that you can't have a parent or community member that could challenge any book that's in our libraries. What's new is they did change the laws. So now, if they would like to challenge, there is a form that was created by TEA that the school districts across state just received in the last month for a formal challenge. Now, I will tell you, since I've been in this position, we have had a handful of people, I want to use the word complain, challenge, whatever you want to say, some library books, and we usually were able to handle that informally. We get the principal involved, we get the teacher involved, and we come to a conclusion. It seems like in every one of them that we did remove that book from the library. But what's changed with this challenge form is you also have to create a challenge committee, because what we don't want to have happen is we don't want to have anybody, one voice, determine what's in our library or what's in our classrooms as well, on our novel list at the secondary level. We don't want one person to make those decisions. So we put a committee together. That committee will consist of myself, Ms. Greeno, librarians across the district, language arts teachers across the district, and also the ladies in my curriculum department as well. And we'll put a committee together. We'll look at the challenge form, and the committee, not one individual person, not the board, not Mr. Light, not myself, but the committee will make that decision whether or not that material remains in the library or not. So what we're asking for you to do tonight is trust us to present you with these books, but with these safeguards involved, we think that we're going to be able to continue to provide protective materials as we have for the years that I've been here.
I don't think I asked this. This may sound like a silly question, but is the list like an all or nothing? Like if I were to go through it, I'm not going to do it. But I'm just saying, like if I were like, oh, I don't like this book you have on there, do I have to, is it the whole list?
It can be an individual.
Okay, I mean, not that I have one. I'm just wondering.
Yes.
So I would also say, Mike has done a great job of working with Jennifer to get this information out on the website, so folks can even look at the list that is proposed for next month. There's a 30-day waiting period, and that list is already out there. Yep. And so, you know, if anybody wants to look at the books that are involved there, they can look at that, and prior to the next board meeting, they can bring that to our attention, and we can go through the process.
And we use the perma-bound reviews, but there's numerous book reviews out there that they can use if there's any questions. And I hope I'm going to say this right. In a normal year, I think they order about twice, but because we had to meet these deadlines, which not everybody could, probably going to have to present about 4 times this year books for adoption. Is that correct?
Each campus orders twice. But it's staggered as far as when each campus is ready to order.
So there's a chance it could be even more than that. So just want to let you know that. But we do need, if you so wish, we need your approval tonight.
Everybody kind of got that list already.
So did we just say we approved 656 books
that are posted on the Wylie ISD website.
Yeah.
So I make a motion to approve the 656 books that were posted on the ISD website.
Second.
All in favor? Okay. All right. Principal's report?
Principal, here we go. Mr. Good enough.
Buckle up, here we go.
He's gonna brand this, I know.
Hey, how's everybody doing tonight?
Blessed.
Hey, we'll start with our enrollment because we have a lot of kids this year. Hey, we currently are sitting at 593 students at Wylie East Junior High. We finished last year with 527. So we're up 66 kids. Our 6th grade class has, as of Friday, 213 students. It's the biggest class we've ever had. A couple of years ago, the kids that are sophomores, when they were 8th grade, we got up to 200 one day. We were at 200 for one day. We got a new student and we went to 200. And then the next day, another student left and we went back down to 199. So we think this 213 is going to stay. And you see 7th and 8th grade, they're at 190. So we're big across the board. On the academic side, we did a beginning of the year test in August. We'll do our middle of year exams in December. And then at the end of the year, they'll take the STAR. That has changed. The way we're doing the beginning and middle has changed because of the teacher incentive allotment, but it's going to be super positive. The first 6 weeks has come and gone. We only had 18 students that failed a course. I think we had 2 kids that failed more than one. So about 97% of our students passed every single one of their classes. And a big part of that is obviously our teachers. A big part of that is they've got great parental support at home. But another big part of that is that we have an academic coach, Mara Evans, who runs our
advisory lab, and we also have Cliff Wilkie, who is our behavior coach. And so a lot of those kids that might be failing their classes because these two people invest so much time in them, we're seeing their grades go up. So kudos to the two of them. We are doing our T-test evaluations. That is ongoing. Again, I put in my little blurb, I guess I shouldn't have been shaking my head so diligently. Hey, I'm all about teacher incentive allotment. It's going to be great. It's going to be great for our teachers. We're going to see a lot of growth in our teachers, and we're going to see a lot of academic growth in our students. So be watching for that. Our UIL academic teams have been practicing since September. I think we've done it 6 times. We do that on Wednesdays during our activity period. We have a big academic meet on November 16th. That's coming up. Our all-school spelling bee is going to happen in November. We're doing that a little differently. Mrs. Pritchett has been in charge of that for years, and she came to me with a new idea to kind of freshen up how we do it, and also maybe to get more of our better spellers involved. And she was hoping to get about 30 kids that wanted to do it, and I think about 78 kids are doing it. And so it's kind of blown up with a lot of spellers, so we're super excited to see how that goes in November. Our attendance, you see that we're at 97% pretty much across the board. Again, that means that about 16 or 17 kids on average are absent every day, and about 575 of them are present every day. So I think that's pretty awesome. On Thursday of this week, our Pure Gold Band is going to be having a performance in our gym. They did that for the first time last year, and here's what I equate this to. If you're a concert goer, you can go see your favorite act, like at AT&T Stadium. That's kind of like the Performing Arts Center. You go to the big place, but sometimes when you get to see them in that small, intimate setting, it's pretty cool. And so I would invite you guys to come out Thursday night at 6:30 in the Wylie ISD Junior High gym to watch the Pure Gold Band concert. It's pretty cool to watch that happen in the gym. We will have a choir concert on October 28th in the PAC, so at AT&T Stadium. Our football teams are on pace for a record-setting year. Last year they won. Our football guys combined won the most games we've ever won before, and this year they're on pace to break that record. Volleyball, I think they need 2 more match wins to set the all-time record as well, so football and volleyball are off to it's not really great starts anymore because their seasons are actually kind of winding down. Our 7A girls volleyball team, they took second in the AISD tournament and also second in the Stephenville tournament, so kudos to them. We have a one-act play. I didn't put that on here, but our one-act play is coming up in November. It's Pride and Prejudice this year. I'm super excited to see that as well. We've had 2 pep rallies. Tennis is off and running at the last meet. The 7th graders won 8 ribbons and the 8th graders won 8 ribbons. So to win a ribbon, you have to finish in the top 3 in your bracket. So a great job for our tennis teams. Our lead students, they've already started seeing their buddies, and I think they're going to next semester be going to Miss Christian's campus to see the littles. So we're super excited about that. School pictures are coming up pretty soon. That's still a thing. I always think that's going to go away and it's not going to be a thing, but all the mamas, it's still a thing. So school pictures, October 24th, we encourage them to comb their hair and to wear a nice shirt, and some do and some don't. Our fundraiser ended last week. Again, the best one we've ever had. More students participated and more money was raised. It's the most money by far that we've ever raised at Wylie ISD Junior High, so kudos to our students for that. In front of you, you have 2 things from me. You have a postcard. It's the Good Stuff postcard. Something was written on there. But those go home. The teachers send those to students. Sometimes they send them to parents, but usually they address them straight to the student. So far, 204 of those have been mailed out as of Friday. So we're on pace to send about 800 of those across the east side this year. 98 students have been recognized for doing an act of kindness. They're part of the Acts of Kindness Club. Hopefully that number will be around 400 at the end of the year. Also in front of you are our Wylie ISD Junior High Standards of Excellence. If someone ever asks you, what is Wylie ISD Junior High, what are they about? That's what we're about. Those 21 things on there. We strive to live up to those every day. We strive to do what's right and to do what's best for kids. We try to be about all kids and not just some kids. Hey, and the stuff that y'all were talking to Reagan about, hey, that's what that means. Being about all kids and not just some kids. Trying to get those that may not graduate. Hey, we're already starting with that in the junior high. We want to be about all kids. All kids matter. Last year we built a boat, the staff. I don't know if y'all remember, I brought the oar in here. This year, we're for the brand. That's the theme. Kendall Watts was the first recipient of this. I took this out of her classroom Friday afternoon. She knew that day was coming, and she was sad that I took it. But we'll recognize another teacher on Wednesday at our staff meeting. For the brand means they're living out these standards of excellence. And they are chosen, and they get to keep this. This is a real brand. I don't know if you can see the WEJH on there, but it's kind of cool. Not Craig Besant. Deb McWright, our secretary, her husband Craig McWright, not Craig Besant, made this for us, and it's pretty cool. But this will go into the teachers' classroom for the month. We have a board that their name is kind of branded on. Not with this, but it's not really branded, but it looks like it has been. But anyway, that's what we're doing to recognize our teachers of the month. They're for the brand. So that's what's going on at Wylie East Junior High again. Hey, thank you for letting us do what we do. Hey, it's my all-time favorite campus. So thank y'all for letting me be over there.
Thank you. Thank you.
Rock, paper, scissors, he won, so. Because pretty much we mirror each other a lot with what we're doing. My number is wrong up there at the top. That 1046 was last September's number. We're currently at 1032. And look back to last year at this time, we were at 1031, so we're up one student from last year at this time. So overall, 1,032 students at Wylie West Junior High. Our attendance is up from last year. It was 96 overall. We're at 97 now. Bulldog Bridge, something we do each month. September is trustworthiness. October is respect. And November is gratefulness. And those are lessons that will be presented in our science classes. We do that through our science classes, basically just teaching different things to our students about those different aspects of how to behave correctly. Our lead class is doing the Buddy Club. We have Unified Bulldogs on our campus. We'll do the robotics and bocce ball this year. I think I'm hosting robotics and he's hosting bocce ball on his campus. And so that's something fun and new that they've been doing and working on t-shirts and all that kind of stuff. Also, we presented our lead students, which is kind of like our PALS version of the high school. It's for our junior high. We had a breakfast for them this past Wednesday, and we presented their gold IDs. They get little gold IDs to be lead students on the campus, and those are 8th grade students that are our lead students on campus. Drug Awareness Week at the end of October. CIS has done their bully prevention lessons. She has 75 students on her caseload. That's Miss Burr. She does a great job on our campus and helps out tremendously with our students. We've mentioned about the BOY at the beginning of the year. That is for academic growth and measurements for TIA. We started IXL last year within our accelerated learning labs, and they're also doing that in 5th grade and in other areas to help with our students' growth there. UIL practice, we started that in September. We will host the 2nd through 5th grade on November 18th, and Wylie East will host 6th through 8th grade on their campus. We also are doing a Class B, and we'll do the school spelling bee at the PAC in January. Working through T-test goals, BOY, evaluations, all that good stuff. Friday early release days, we have a few of those this year. Like we had last year, we're using those for mostly planning for the next 6 weeks and grading. We did do some professional development this past Friday. Ms. Spencer did come to our campus and work with our teachers on going through their data and looking at the BOYs and getting them prepared for student growth and giving them some tools on how to get better in that area. Volleyball, we will host the 8th grade B tournament this coming Saturday. They're doing a great job this year. 8th grade girls, I think they haven't lost a game. 7th grade girls were growing, but our 8th grade group is really good. Football, we have 3 games left for the season. Cross country ended on October 1st. Our girls team won 2 out of the 5 meets. They did a great job there. Fall tennis is halfway through. Band, Ms. Thaxton, or formerly Ms. Garcia, has taken over and doing a great job. They had a beginner band party earlier in the year. 8th grade performance at the first half of the football game a couple weeks ago, one of the home games. And then pep rally, we've been doing that. And they have a Wicked Concert of the West on October 28th, and that'll be hosted at our gym at 7 p.m. at Wylie West Junior High. Choir, we just had our fall choir concert this past Tuesday, did a great job. Big Country choir auditions is coming up. Basketball will start soon. We did our open house back at the end of August and had our parents come and meet our teachers. Fundraiser, we finished that on October 2nd, raised gross over like $36,000, so great job there with all our students. Brilliant Bulldog Dyslexia Club is ran by Miss Cawthorn, and she does a great job, and she was featured one of the news stories hosting our 3rd annual pumpkin patch. We did that this in September and raised money for our Brilliant Bulldog Dyslexia Club to continue to do things with that group. We just recently also recognized World Dyslexia Day. That was this past Wednesday, so we wore red on our campus. Powder Puff, we started that last year. We have our 2nd annual coming up. It'll be the week of, what's the Friday, October 24th. It's the open week of football, and we have our 5th and 6th grade girls play each other in flag football, and our 7th and 8th grade girls play each other in flag football. And then the boys, 8th grade boys will be coaches of those teams, and then the other boys of each grade level can cheer. It was really fun last year. It was a great fundraiser for our school and for PTO, and then we're going to continue that on this year and look forward to some great things.
Are you racing again?
I am not. I actually will not be there. I hate that I'm not going to be there, but I'm going to be with AJ at a fishing tournament, so the boat captain kind of thing. One act play, we're doing Radium Girls in November. Theater spring musical is going to be Annie, and we had a new student party that we do every year for our new students. We'll do one in the fall and one in the spring for our new students that come at semester. 8th grade Girl and Boy of the Month, we recognize outstanding 8th grade girls and boys on our campus. They're listed there. It was Leo Ramos and Anderson Eminette was September. October was Rayleigh Cheney and Eli Ramos. The ladies will have a luncheon coming up with the Abilene Women's Club, and then the boys typically do a breakfast with Beltway. So some great things happening there. Already mentioned, and they mentioned earlier that our Kindness Club helped with making the blankets. Student council did a plastic bag drive, and our Kindness Club went and helped this past Saturday with making those blankets at the high school. Our 5th grade, we'll do a field trip. I didn't put this on there. We're going to watch the Newsies Broadway musical by the high school theater production. That will be coming up soon. It's the end of October, I believe. We're going to go to you said AT&T Stadium. We're going to go there and watch that. All right. I think that is everything. Thank you all. Appreciate all the
All right. You can see our enrollment there. We are up from my May board report, 98 students, which that's pretty normal. We normally go up about 100, and then you see that number fluctuate some throughout the school year. Athletics, if you follow our social media, they do such a great job running that, and so you should be up to date on that. But the highlights are tennis plays tomorrow in the regional quarterfinals against Amarillo High. That is always a knockdown, really exciting. And so they're playing in Lubbock tomorrow. Football is 2-1 in district. They're still in the hunt for that top finish in the district play. They are at home against Memorial this week. Volleyball is sitting in first. What a game last Tuesday. That was so fun. And so if they can win out, they'll clinch that district spot. So we're excited for that playoff run. Cross country, boys and girls, both teams got third, and so they both made it out. And so they'll be running at the regional cross country meet as a team on October 20th. Golf is doing great. The boys broke a school record in Fort Worth a few weeks ago. They both are actually, I think, in Glen Rose today, boys and girls today playing. Swim has started swimming, and so they've competed in Keller and Andrews, and they'll compete periodically about every other week until district in January. Bass fishing, AJ, they're catching big fish. But they got first. That team got first at the last fishing tournament. Our Unified Bulldogs, we've competed in bocce ball, and that just continues to be one of the neatest programs that we have. When that was started because of y'all bringing that to the table for us. They will bowl next, so they have to turn in scores, so they went to the Family Life Center last week to bowl and turn in their scores, and so I think they go to San Angelo and compete in bowling. And then basketball, we're just weeks away from basketball tipping off. So Marching band, pure gold. They're in the thick of marching season. They had the Big Country Marching Festival last Saturday, and then they were in Lubbock this past Saturday. And I love marching band competition. I told Mr. McDonald, it's incredible that with every show that you watch, and Angie can probably attest to this, with every show that you watch, that they can get 200 kids to add something new every time. And that's what Kyle, he was like, just wait till you see it the next time. You just wait till you see it the next time. So that's incredible. They will compete. Their first UIL competition is on October 20th. There is a send-off for them at 5 o'clock over in front of the school, kind of on the side in front of the athletic hallway. And so we'd love for everyone to be there to send them off to Shotwell Stadium in style for their first UIL competition. And then area is in Andrews on November 1st. Theater Arts, you heard Mr. Amonette talk about it. They will be performing Newsies. That's their fall musical this year. So we're excited for that. That is also open weekend. That was kind of the traditional weekend. And then they started, I think COVID hit and it was after Christmas and then it's been all over. But they're back to open weekend all weekend long, Thursday through Sunday. And so y'all don't want to miss that. That's usually a packed house. Choir has students that competed and tried out for all region choir, and so several have moved on to the next round, and they also had their choir concert last week as well. UIL Academics, the debate team has hit the road. They, I don't remember where they were. Lubbock this weekend, they were over at Abilene High 2 weeks ago, and they've got some new members. That is just a really strong program, and so they start training those youngsters, those freshmen, and getting them ready, and they're already placing. All those young kids are also. We had three girls were named commended students by the National Merit Scholarship, and so we're really proud of them. That's a tough competition that they take the PSAT their junior year, and that's what qualifies them for that competition, those scores. Our students took the PSAT this past week, so we'll get those results. They'll get their results soon, but then we start getting the merit information next school year. We already talked about Ignite, but I did innovate, graduate, navigate, inspire, thrive, and excel. There you go. There's the acronym for that. Our Youth Success Program, we don't talk a whole lot about this, but we probably should. That's a program that we earned as part of a grant 3 years ago, and now it's ours. And so it's our program that we pay for. It's not through the grant any longer. But that grants us a senior success advisor through Workforce Solution of West Central Texas. And how this helps with CCMR, these are all some CCMR strategies here. How this helps with CCMR is they actually track those students. She meets with every single senior at least once their senior year. The first meeting is a check-in to see where they're at with their plans. If they have a lot of support at home, they're already rocking and rolling and what those next steps are, then she just touches base to make sure they're on track. But there's some that she's really intentional with, and she sets up internships or job shadow with them. If they are interested in military, she talks about, they figure out what branch they're interested in and meets with the recruiters. And then they actually track them for 2 years post-graduation to see where they are and to follow through on that. So they provide us with a lot of data. We have a new advisor this year, and you can see some of our stats. We're already tracking that 41% have already established post-secondary plans, 33% have already participated this school year in career exposure, which is those industry tours that we go on, or college tours and such. And then 46%, she's already met with nearly half of the senior class for that initial meeting. We will offer the SAT at school, at the high school, on October 29th. That is, we've done that now for 2 years, that school day SAT, which just helps capture those kiddos that don't have the motivation to come on a Saturday to take the SAT, and then we also pay for that. We pay for one college entrance exam. The TSIA2 we will offer on November 5th, and then we offer we offer again in the spring. We are having a CT advisory meeting on October 27th. I hope all of you received an invitation to that. We wanted our teachers to all be able to attend, and so that's why it's in the evening, and just have some other guests attend. Ms. Fetchy has worked really hard on that, and I think it's important to have those industry partners come in and hear what's going on at CTE, but also in Wylie, but we want to hear what's going on in the industry, because again, that's the entire goal of CTE, is to partner and to set them up for success after high school. Other clubs, the other thing I wanted to say about CCMR, just as he was talking, The other things that we're doing is, obviously, we're doing much better data tracking through Pathways. Having that program will be huge for us, where we're not tracking by hand any longer. We also have added about 9 hours of dual credit courses this year, and we'll continue to add dual credit options, because that's one of the ways that they can capture that CCMR point, is through 9 hours, obtaining 9 hours in any subject, or 3 hours in English or math. And so we've always had those English and math credits, but those are usually your higher achieving academic students. And so we keep broadening the net for dual credit and CTE. And so TSTC became a partner with us, and I was just talking to a teacher last week about how we can broaden those choices in CT also, and dual credit is huge. And so we'll certainly start capturing more of those kiddos in that arena too. FFA, the Ag Boosters, are hosting their annual Champions Bash, so if you want to table up that's always a fun time. It's Saturday, November 1st. They also have been showing, they've been at the fairs and doing a great job there. Host is holding a blood drive on November 10th. The Purple Dog Company, next time I talk to you, the Bulldog Christmas Market will be over. And so that's why I talk about it now. I had a really great conversation with Miss Rowe, who leads the Purple Dog Company, and we're excited about some of the changes that the public may not know, but the initial reason for the Bulldog Christmas Market was to show that everything that you do in high school can be entrepreneurial. And that was kind of the goal. And now we've shifted, and we talked a lot about how you can shift and goals can change. And so their focus this year is to make it a community event, to bring the community together. I think that's a priority for Wylie, for us to always have something community-wide. And so they've opened up, they're actually taking booth applications for students that have entrepreneurial businesses, or inviting other student groups and using it as a fundraiser for them also. The Purple Dog Company is a lot of fun. They've really taken to that social media, and they make some funny videos that sometimes make me go, I don't know about that, y'all. They've gotten a few shot down, but they're a good time. Student Council, I didn't know if they were going to get to speak during open forum or right now, but those two women, Miss Shrimple and Miss Palacio, are rock stars at Wylie High School. We have a lot of rock stars, but they're a lot of fun, because I like to think that they're BFFs outside also. The students have so much respect for them. They are so relatable, but in the most professional way, to where students want to show up on Saturday mornings to do things that they bring to the table, how they instill leadership into those students, and then again make them want to perform. They're just awesome. You will see them everywhere. They're at concession stands. If they're not working the concession stand, they're there cheering for students and watching students. They're just, there's a book called It, and it's talking about when they have it. And we've got a lot of teachers that have it, but you got to see two of them tonight. They're studs. And what Student Council doing is awesome. They did invite other they invited Abilene High and Cooper, and that's kind of their goal, like they said, is to get all the big country involved, because it is a cumbersome, huge project. I donated grocery sacks just twice, and as you start counting, you see how much waste goes into that, and so it could be an all-time project for them. But I wanted to brag on those two women, those two teachers, but also those students. They're also going to represent the Big Country Student Councils at Region 14 at our Texas Association of Secondary School Principals meeting this month also, and so that's cool too. Real quick, we did have our Campus Advisory Committee meeting. That went well. We have a whole new membership. I usually like to keep mine for 2 years, and so that turned over this year, so it's all new people. This year, October is Fentanyl Awareness Month, and so on our open Friday, instead of a pep ride, we will have an awareness activity on that day. Safety drills, we've completed 4 safety drills, including 2 lockdown drills. If you are a parent at Wylie High School, you got the message. We did 1 lockdown drill during passing periods, which it went really well, and it brought a whole new awareness to our students and to our teachers also. And so I was really proud of all of them for that.
That was a planned drill to have it during.
It was a planned drill to have it during passing periods. They only knew it would happen teachers and students only knew it would happen in the morning. And parents. I let parents know it happened too.
Because that is a challenge when all of a sudden who knows where.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's a really good drill, I think. Mr. Bassett was really pleased with the results of that.
Mm-hmm.
That's tough.
Yeah, our teachers did a great job, and so they just had to scurry them into their classrooms and then follow all of our lockdown procedures from there. Our teacher of the 6 weeks is chosen by students, and so Mr. Crumless was chosen as the teacher of the 6 weeks. If you got to watch him rap at our last pep rally, you know why. He was a crowd favorite. We too had BOI testing at the beginning of the school year, and that data will be really valuable. I wanted to piggyback off of what Mr. Goodenough said. What we're doing is really impactful, and in the long run, it's going to be really impactful. I wish that we could see reward immediately. Unfortunately, we data collect this year, and then we don't even turn things in and find out until February of the following year, so that's a long time. But already, even if you take the teachers out of it and how much improvement there's going to be, I can speak for myself as an administrator. It has shed light on so many areas where I needed to improve, where I could be more intentional in what I'm seeing, and have more intentional conversations, because it's real easy to see and say at Wylie, we have great kids, great teachers, great families, we're just successful, and all those things are true. But that's whenever we have those goals of going from meets to masters, that's where we move the bar of excellence and where we talk about excellence. And so what this is doing is causing all of us to be better and to move to that excellent instead of just good enough. Not good enough, no pun intended. No pun intended. But it really has been powerful in the conversations that we have had as administrators within my team and then district-wide has been really powerful, and we've all learned from each other also. So that will be a good thing in the long run. The last thing I wanted to tell y'all, just because we don't talk about it, but 2 years ago during the last legislative session, not the 89th, the 88th, y'all approved for us to have a chaplain. I cannot tell you what a game changer that is for Wylie High School. It is about the person. You can't have just anybody in there, but the person for us is Dr. Jay Miller. I would assume that y'all can speak the same about y'all's chaplains because we have more now. But what he does, not just for our students, but I'm going to speak mostly about our staff, is incredible. The intentionality that he visits them with, and then that they trust him and meet him. And we had somebody from Belton come and shadow him, and then Jay took him into my office and just said, let her rip. And I told him, you have no idea. We all know teachers are humans. But just like kids are shocked when they see us at the grocery store, sometimes we forget that teachers have lives outside of school, and sometimes those lives are heavy, just like our students' lives are heavy. And so that's what Jay has been able to do, is just help them during their conference period or in the morning or even outside of school hours, because that's his choice, to communicate with them sometimes. What he has done is help them kind of sift through some of those, and so they can be the best version of themselves for their family first and then for our students here. And so I just want to thank y'all. The question that I asked that was like, have they even approved a chaplaincy program? Because that's the first step, but that starts with y'all and starts with Mr. Light and seeing the value in that. And so I want to thank y'all for that, because without him, you would just be dealing with a lot of human things. And he's able to do that in a really skilled way because he's gifted in that. And we get to use our gifts in other ways. And so thank y'all for that program. Mm-hmm.
Thank you, Ms. Murray.
Thank you.
Reagan, are y'all gonna do, it takes a package?
Again, we're pivoting. Actually, Rick was in my office this week talking about it because it's around this time that we did it last year. And we both said, the information is vital and important. We just want to find ways to reach people, right? To reach more people. And so that's a continued conversation between myself, Rick, and then Nikki, who's communities and schools. Yeah. So if you have any ideas.
Whatever we do to help.
All right, bond projects.
Okay, so just some real quick 30,000-foot perspective. Our South Elementary is on schedule. That is to be delivered in the spring. The Ag building is hopefully going to be completed by Christmas break. They still have hope that will happen. That is going to be close. We're continuing to put the finishing touches on the tennis area, we're working on a parking lot and shades for seating. That should be done, gosh, again, I hate to give you dates because I seem to struggle with accomplishing those dates, but I think those are on the horizon. Working on the junior high track, that top layer is gonna be put on that track after football season. Working on some shading for baseball, softball, and we've gotten some scoreboards lined up for both baseball and softball. Again, thanks to Coach Fetchy and Mr. Andy Penny on that. And so just a lot of moving pieces still, getting ready now to move towards the East Intermediate. That'll probably be about a month by the time they get all the contracts signed and then mobilize and get started on that. I know Coach Bacon is excited about that. We're gonna get into his space, so that's a bonding thing.
Awesome. Okay, investment policy.
Investment policy. So Catherine may have something to say on that. However, this investment policy has not changed, but we are required every year to bring it to you to review. So I don't know if you necessarily have anything to add to that, Catherine.
No changes to it.
So there you have it.
Yeah.
We reviewed investment policy.
It's reviewed.
I will say this.
Check.
With that said, she does a lot of work with that. I mean, especially because of the bond monies, there is a lot involved in that. And I can just tell you that she's done a really nice job of working with different institutions. First Financial, we're in a new agreement with them. And there's a lot of background work involved in that. She's done a great job working with those folks. We're really pleased with the service that Prosperity gave us for many years, but First Financial has stepped up to the plate, and we're excited about that relationship as well.
Awesome. Thank you. Okay, and now bilingual and ESL annual evaluation report.
See me again.
Long time no see, Mr. Wagner.
This one's gonna be quick. ESL program overview. Once again, ESL, English as a second language. We have 186 students in our district that are emergent bilinguals. I refer them as EBs for the remainder of this report. That's a 7% increase. I think I already mentioned that earlier. We have 116, I'm sorry, this is on page 120 if you didn't find it. Does everybody see it? We have 116 teachers that are certified in ESL. We are always proactive in getting these teachers certified. We had a representative come out from Region 14 2 consecutive years to train our teachers to go take their tests. We didn't feel the need that we had it last year, but we might need to do that again, the more students that we get. We have teachers with ESL certifications that are instructing actual EB students in their classes, 87. We're only required to have certified teachers in the language arts classes, but we have them in other core classes as well. Just to give you a reminder that we told you the last couple of years, these teachers are instructing kids in their classroom that speak Spanish, Swahili, French, Vietnamese, Filipino, Arabic. Are there any new ones this year that I left off here? Numerous different languages. And so our teachers do a great job meeting these students' needs, and that's not an easy task. I always have to report to you each year that we do have a handful of students that are in a class that does not have a certified teacher. That number is 5 this year. It seems like the most difficult task that we have is when a student is dual identified. They're both special ed and ESL, and we have such a turnover in the special ed department. We have late hires, and it's just difficult getting those teachers certified. We're required each year. We can't make a teacher pass this test, but we're required to give them training, provide them opportunity to pass the test, and our goal is for them to pass that test. I am proud to tell you that 94% of all of our EB students are in a classroom with certified teachers. So how do we identify these kids? We do a home language survey at the beginning of the year. We administer a language proficiency test. Mrs. Donway, do you remember that during your counseling days? We put
She could probably give this report for us.
There you go. I know she's critiquing me, I promise you. Language Proficiency Assessment Committee, the LPAC is what Laura would call that, determines whether or not a student qualifies. Meaningful communication with EB parents is very important since they speak a different language. We use interpreters when needed. We've always hosted an annual parent night to provide as much information as we can for these EB parents. Unfortunately, that has not been well attended the last few years. And so I think this year we've decided, the council decided you can do the same thing through the Region 14, so they're gonna host the parent night for us. How do we provide language assistance to these students? We provide content-based language instruction. Basically what that means is we teach in the English language, and the only people who are required to be certified are the reading language arts teachers. Strategies include use of visual aids, vocabulary support, learning stations, simplified vocabulary. We partnered with Region 14 last year and purchased a product, everybody in our region did, called Lexia English. And I think we're finding that to be a very good resource. The high school this year created an ESL class, and I believe when I talked to Ms. Bundy last week, there may be 17 kids in there. And we're finding that Lexia English, which we were just one of the districts in our region that got to submit a survey to pick what resources we're going to use, we're finding that's not that good for secondary students, that Lexia English is more for the lower grades. So we purchased another program or resource last week for them to make sure we can provide everything they need in that classroom. But I think that was a great idea, adding that classroom this year. Google Classroom is what we use to communicate with the parents, and Google Translator and Lexia English and now Summit K-12 are some very important resources that we use to meet the needs of these students. On the back, on page, that's on the back of mine, 121, I believe, for y'all. The goal is to place EB students in a classroom. I've already told you 94% of our students are in a class with a certified teacher. I've also earlier mentioned about the dual services. That's just the most difficult thing that we do, is trying to find special ed teachers that can be certified in that as well. Just a side note, I'll have to get to work tomorrow on the waiver that we send into the state for those 5 teachers, and they have to make me answer some questions. And one of them they ask is why we don't have all of our teachers certified in ESL, and my response is always the same: we got schools across the state can't even get teachers certified, much less a teacher that's certified in ESL. So I don't think we're in the minority. I think the majority, if not all, schools have to do that each year. Parent denial, unfortunately, we do have parents that deny ESL services, but we continue to track those, make sure those kids are doing well. And also, good news is a lot of kids will exit out of the program, but just to let you know that we continue to monitor those students and test them. The TELPAS is administered annually to make sure that those students are still doing well. Academic progress of EB students is monitored for at least 2 years after they've exited the program. Last thing I want to say is I think we're doing really good things in the ESL program, and I think that's because our teachers are professional, and they go get those ESL certifications, and they ask for trainings of what they can do to help these kids. But I want to mention what the counselors do for our ESL program. That's where the majority of the work is, on the testing, on the front end stuff. So I don't think we could be doing it without all the hard work by our counselors. I think I'm done for the night.
Very good.
Thank you, Mr.
Any
Haglund.
questions of Mr.
No, we're good, thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Haglund.
Okay, now we're moving to executive session.
Enjoy y'all's
Thank
night.
y'all.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you. Me too. I'm like, I need a coffee tonight.
I've been
I don't know
drinking
what
this
it
tea.
was. I'm so tired today. Thank you.
That's a-
No, I'm good.
Okay.